Hi, so we will be reading from the okay, let's maximize. Okay, so we'll be starting like static block. Okay, static block will be starting. So like the block means only curly braces starting and ending. This is called a block. Okay, if static keyword is present, then it is a static block. Okay. So like the syntax will be like this, static and this block will be there. Okay, like this the syntax will be there. Okay, so like what is the need of a block? Okay, so the need is like it is used to execute logic only at the time of class loading. We know that the static block and the static variable execute at the time of class loading. So if we want some logic to be placed and to be executed at the time of class loading, then we will place that in the static block. Okay, so examples of the logic like in the real time, logic is like initializing static variables and registering native libraries. Okay, like if we want our like database related configuration which we want to be loaded at the time of class loading, which we want at the time of class loading and common to all, also these things. Okay, so like what is a different way in which in which we can execute the logic at the time of class loading? What are the different ways? Okay, different ways to execute logic at the time of class loading. Okay, so like there are two ways are there. First one is using static variable. The example is like class example is there. Class example is there, and we have like static int a equal to m1 is there. Okay, and it's like static int m1. We have here we are writing some logics, some SOPLN statement, some logic will be there. Okay, so like if we'll execute this class, like this class will be loaded. Okay, this class will be loaded So this class will be loaded. Okay, this at the time of class loading, the static variable memory will be declared with default value, like 0 will be declared. Later on in the memory, when this part will be start executing, this one is calling m1 method. So like it will go to the m1 method, and whatever the logic is there, it will execute. And like we must return something, like a return 10 we are writing. So this 10 will go and it will assign to a variable. Okay, so there is some drawbacks in this approach. So the drawbacks in this approach, like m1 method logic can also be executed after class loading. So how it can be executed? Because we can call it from another method, like from main method also we can call it, because it can be called from main method. Okay, that leads to execution of m1 method after class loading. Okay, and one more thing is that the method must be a non-void. So you must have to pass some value. Okay, you have to pass some value. Why you have to pass some value? Because if you will not pass any integer in it, so like this a variable is like it is expecting some value to be coming from m1 method, so that it can be initialized. So you must return some value, and the method must be non-void, or else the compiler will throw error, like you must return some value. Okay, because you are assigning this one to a, so this must return some value. And one more thing, like as I told, you can call it from like main method, you can call it. Okay, like if like public static void main is there, and you must call it, like you can call it like this, like you can call the m1 from here also. Okay, so it is that these are the drawbacks of this. Okay, so the second approach, and the second approach using static block. So the above drawbacks which we saw, that it can be called from main method and the method must be non-void, all those things are solved using the static block. Okay, it is the solution for the above problem. Write the logic in static block to execute that logic only at the time of class loading, so that no second time it can be called. Okay, second time it cannot be called. Okay, like we can write like this: inside the static block, if we will define whatever that SOPLN statement we have. Okay, the SOPLN statement we have, we will write like this, the all the logics like that one mentioned in the m1 method. Instead of m1 method, we can write here. Okay, like this. Okay, the spacing. So like question is there, who will execute static block when and where? This question comes. So static blocks are executed automatically by JVM at the time of class loading in the order they are defined. Okay, from like top to bottom by creating separate stack frame in the main thread. Okay, in Java stack area. Okay, so like one more question can come like how many static blocks can we define inside a class? So we can define multiple, as many as we want. Okay, so like one more question will be there, but that's not required. Okay, so we learned about the static one. So some common questions are there. So let's move to the main method. Okay, main method is a static one, so it's also a part of this one. So like we have lot of questions regarding main method. If those questions will be clear, I think main method will be clear. Why main method is public? Okay, and another question is why main method has static keyword in its definition. Another question will be when user defined methods should contain method should contain static keyword. Okay, one more question is there, why JVM executes only main method, why not user defined static methods, or why main method is the initial point of class logic execution. Okay, then we will come to the part of the definition of main method. Okay, then we'll be continuing to the next one. So today we learned about the static block, so and drawbacks like different ways to execute a logic at the time of class loading, need of static block. Then these questions we have. So answer to this is why main method is public, because it must be called by JVM from outside of the package. So JVM is inside of the package? No, it is obviously outside of the package. So outside of the package means we must declare it as public so that it will be visible. Outside of the project we can also say like, sorry, not the project, it's outside of the package. We can say like outside of the package means the modifier must be public so that it can be called. Okay, like why main method has static keyword in its creation? So main method is the initial point of class logic execution. So hence it should be identified at the time of class loading. Due to this reason, it contains static keyword in its prototype. Okay, of course it must be executed without object creation. Okay, because JVM will not create the object and then it will call main method. Okay, so at the time of class loading, if it will be identified, then JVM will know that yeah, in this class main method is there, so I need to call that one. So for that purpose we have static keyword in the main method. Okay, so when user defined methods should contain static keyword. This is the last question of this session. In the next session we will be continuing some few more questions. Okay, when user defined method should contain static keyword. To execute the method logic without object creation, method should be defined as static. Okay, to execute the method logic without object creation, method should be defined as static method. Okay, it means if method logic internally not using object data means non-static variables. Okay, then it is recommended declare that method as static method. Okay, so these are the questions, and we have discussed about the block. Please go through the internet, you will have lots of programs related to block. Please practice those. And main method, these are the questions. Please go through these ones, and we'll be learning like more 5, 6, 7 questions are there. After that we'll be learning like what is the flow for the like this session name is like static members and their control flow, like the execution flow. So we will be learning the execution flow of the static members. Until then, thank you for your patience.